welcome to the Gruber Morning Show. I'm Pete Gruber, and we have a special guest today, Jerry Kroll from Vancouver and Barcelona.
I thought it was her.
And Lisa as well, yes, Lisa Garland. Before we get started, I wanted to preface this. This is our my first podcast in like 4 or 5 months. And you may be wondering, we get a lot of questions, why aren't we doing podcasts like we used to every single week, a number of them? Well, we've shifted and paused temporarily to get our websites up and running properly. And so within a few months, we will be back to doing podcasts.
I love that it's November 25th and you've dressed like Google Claus.
It is cold in Phoenix, and Jerry doesn't think so. He's in short sleeves and shorts because he comes from a very cold part of the world.
Yeah, it's actually not that much colder than here, but when it's sparkling sunny outside, and I had a coffee outside this morning in front of the Starbucks, it's hard not to feel like it's spring, and remind yourself it is 1 month till Christmas.
Right. So Jerry is visiting us because the Solos are being launched, the 4th generation in Barcelona. Lisa is here because she is the promotion test driver for Solo. So we're going to have a lot of stories for you, a lot of anecdotes, and so we might as well kick this thing off.
I was doing Lisa's job this morning at the Starbucks for her. Yeah, it was about a 45-minute drive, including the coffee, and there were 3 people going, "What is this? Oh my goodness, I've never seen anything like this." And again, we were saying like how many people, as a percentage, are driving by themselves, right, in the car. And everybody goes, "Oh, I totally get that." And so they go, where can I get one of these? What's the deal and all that, right? So I'm handing out business cards this morning outside of a Starbucks, which is my favorite thing to do.
Absolutely. In fact, you can't go anywhere without somebody stopping you. Real big about taking pictures. I've actually let them now sit in the car and take a picture of them. And I think that really helps them get the full feel of it. But the concept in itself just makes sense.
Well, you sent a graph this morning from Waymo. Can we get that up on the screen, Jesse? And just to drive this point home. You don't have it up on that one. On the big one, okay. There we go. Okay, so what we're showing here is from Mobility Data Insights is the occupancy rates of vehicles on the road.
Yeah, and interestingly here, this is the robo-taxi side of it. It's 2025, heading into 2026, and we're futurists as we look at this thing. And I really do believe there will be a time, backed up by safety stats on full self-drive autonomous vehicles, that if we want to drive a vehicle, we'll be restricted to areas where humans are allowed to drive vehicles, like racetracks and things like that. So when you look at this, and it says 90% of robo-taxi trips are 2 or less passengers, that's actually not the story. The story is 76% are 1 person or less. I'm assuming the 5% are product deliveries. I'm surprised that's not more. But that's the wheelhouse of the Solo. 76%. It's not a niche. When people look at a Solo and they say, "Oh, it's a niche product," no, it's not. 76% is the vast majority of what's going on out there. And the rest of the time, people are 1 person in a 5-person vehicle as you're going along. So the autonomous vehicle side of it, and we do have a plan for that. That'll be coming. That'll be a future podcast, but I am so excited about that part of it, product delivery as well as for people. But just having the right-sized vehicle for people in crowded urban areas makes as much sense as the converse of that, whereas if we were all wearing those inflatable sumo suits and trying to get into elevators and going, "Oh, these elevators are too small." Well, let's get out of these big sumo suits and just get in there like normal people. That's really what the Solo does.
And not to mention what it does for the environment. I mean, think about all these gas guzzlers out there that are just submitting all that into, the clean efficiency of it being electric is amazing.
Yep. Electric, footprint, 100% recyclable. All these things come into play. And when you look at it, the cradle to cradle cycle of these vehicles, that's really what it's all about. The batteries are fully recyclable. People say, "Well, what do you do with the batteries once they're worn out?" First of all, Pete and I had a great discussion about this. The batteries aren't wearing out, okay? I'm just going to get online and say it. I've got a 2012 Fisker that was built in 2011. It has exactly the same mileage on the battery as it did when it was brand new. And that's with 100,000 kilometers on it, right? But those are fully recyclable when they need to be recycled.
Sure.
Nobody has yet explained to me how they recycle a tank of gasoline once they've burnt it.
Mm-hmm. Right. So one of the things I saw this morning, it was a Teslarati article, and they were saying that Arizona is the first state that is now allowing driverless robo-taxis. And I looked at it and I thought, there are 3 more seats in this vehicle than there need to be.
Based on the Waymo thing, that's exactly right. I've always said the Solo is the car that Elon Musk is going to wish he built, right? And when you look at Apple, their number one product is the iPhone. I mean, that's the right size. They tried to come up with an iPad. You know, the other computer laptop, they're all great stuff. But the iPhone is really the right size product. And I love teasing people where I ask them, what's your primary computer? Because more often than not, they'll say, oh, I have this desktop and blah, blah, blah. And I say, no, I didn't ask what your big computer was. I asked what your primary computer was.
Right.
And 95, 96 or more percent, everything that you can do now on an iPhone because it's the right size. You can take it with you everywhere. And once you get a Solo and you have it with you beside your Model S or your gas guzzler for the weekend, whatever you have there, and you start driving this, the idea of a big urban city with tight parking, going there with a regular size car and struggling for parking, just, I don't like that, right? If I can get into a Solo, I know I can park right in front of the door that I need to walk into or the elevator that I walk into. It's really convenient. So basically the iPhone for the road.
And I couldn't agree with you more. A lot of people I've talked to, the idea of it being a commuter, because that's where we spend most of our time, is going to and from work. We're alone. And not many people have the opportunity to carpool. So this is a great way so that they can leave that weekend family car for the lakes or whatnot. It can be garaged. It can have no wear and tear. It just makes sense all the way around.
It does. And that's in the United States where driving in here, I think the road was about a half a mile wide as I was coming down the street here, 19th, to come down over here, which is ridiculous. If we look at the background behind us and we see the European cities there is just hard parking. Like you cannot drive a Ford F-150 and experience a parking spot at all. It's just not going to happen, right? You have to phone ahead for a reservation if you want a parking spot. With the Solo, like you see in this picture, there's always room for a scooter or a motorcycle or something like that. And that's where the teardrop shape of the Solo, you back it in there, lock the door, go in and have your tapas and your sangria. It's a beautiful day in Europe. And that's not just in Spain. That's the same in England, Germany, France, Italy. Yeah.
And your cities like San Francisco, you know, more as you get closer and closer, more into town, even in Phoenix, downtown Phoenix, you can't find a parking spot if you want to go enjoy the opera shows or whatnot. So this definitely comes in handy.
And then the fun side of the thing, I'm just looking at Pete's little
we have a picture here,
image
Jesse,
there.
Pop that up, and I'll get to that question in a second.
That's really the other side of the thing too, the utilitarian side of it, parking and deliveries and ease of commute. Smaller footprint, all that stuff is really good. But the fun side of it, driving along the roads here in the early morning or late at night when I was leaving and it was dark on the roads like that, it really is a fun vehicle. And this photo here, I guess, captures some of the essence of the fun of driving a one-person vehicle. The last one-person vehicle I saw was in Las Vegas. They were F1 cars driving around.
There you go.
Apparently, those are pretty fun to drive as well.
Those are fun as well. For those of you that want to ask questions, yes, we absolutely entertain questions. We have one right now from YouTube. Kanadul Muhammad 5625 says, "Can I ask a question?" Absolutely. Let us know what that is.
That's a good question back.
Yeah.
Sure. What is the question?
So yeah, we're also we popped up the image of the three-wheeler, and this morning, by the way, I was telling the visitors here that we tried using AI to render a Solo, and it tries to put four wheels on it every single time. So we're going to have to train these large
AI hasn't
models.
caught up to us yet.
It has not, no.
For sure. And the beauty of that, the engineering side of it, is that two things. One is you've reduced the weight of the vehicle by 25% with the one rear wheel. And if you're driving around in slippery conditions or snow, as we do in Canada sometimes, you have 50% of the vehicle weight on one drive wheel. And it really makes a remarkable difference when you're driving in there. It's the same configuration as a snowmobile. You would think it would be hard to drive in the snow. It's the exact opposite. You can actually go uphill with a rear-wheel drive vehicle past other cars, depending on what tire. I mean, if you have a slick tire, that's not going to help. But with a regular tire, it really is a remarkable driving experience.
Now, let's not forget that tire replacements are 25% cheaper.
That's correct. So all those deals where they give you the fourth tire for free, they're worthless.
Yes. The picture behind us, by the way, is AI generated. It is Barcelona, and I thought maybe Jerry could tell us a little bit about the reception of this unusual vehicle in Barcelona.
Yeah, so for the American audience that's watching this, and I guess the Canadian audience at this particular point in time, the Solos were being produced in China, and they've increased the incoming tariff to 100% on all electric vehicles from China. So the problem that I have with that is when electric vehicles started, and we've been in this business for a long time, the common feedback from the gas car industry, combustion, oh, they're too expensive, right? No, not until they're the same price as a gas car, regardless of the fact that you're not burning $500 worth of gas a month. It has to be the same price. Now that the prices are lower than gas cars, they're putting tariffs on them to block them. And this is a solution to global climate destruction that they're putting a tariff on to block. Regardless, after putting all the effort into building a factory in China for these Solos, bringing them in, 100% tariff, we've had to move the entire factory over to Barcelona. Fortunately, through some motorsports connections I have in the Formula E series. We have a beautiful facility in Barcelona. It's about 800 meters away from the Formula One track. Quite a large facility as well, too, to build the new Solo G4, or the Solo GT, as we call it, which we have now on the road being tested. There's some fundamental adjustments happening to it, both from a performance perspective and just the evolution of things like software, batteries, things like that, where we've switched from a cylindrical cell, 18650, over to what's called a prismatic cell, which is like a box cell. And the performance is superior, the endurance is superior, the cost is superior as well, too, and the longevity is superior. These things have just really improved vastly. So packaging in a small car is right-sized. The software is better, and the cars will be shipped. After this, I'm on a plane over to Barcelona. I'm not showing off. It's really going to happen. So over there to watch the first cars being built. Apparently, I have to sleep on the floor. That's tradition. I don't know. I heard that. And then get the cars onto the containers and then shipped over to Arizona, so that some of the first people who've been asking for cars can get into a Solo GT, the newest version of the Solo that we have, and drive them around here in the United States. 2.5% import tariff from Europe right now for these cars. So
much more favorable.
Yeah, much more favorable. And we also have now homologated the Solos for Europe. So there will be some going to London, Dusseldorf. We have a distributor there, Spain, of course, and Turin in Italy as well, too. Nice. And the reception that you get in Europe is remarkable. But if you're an English-speaking person in Spain, and people are running up to your window yelling at you, it is not funny. And they can realize that I don't speak Spanish when I make the face. And then they go, bateria. And they go, yes, bateria, right? That I know what they're talking about. So the market in Europe is going to be exceptional for this. But as you said, everywhere in the world, it's a human convenience to be able to get into a car that's right-sized, go to work, go to school, whatever you're doing with it, and drive.
And Europe, of course, some of the villages and towns there are hundreds of years old, well before any kind of motorized. Yes, exactly. And narrow cobblestone streets. I just can't imagine a Cybertruck going through one of those.
I really can't.
Well, and that's a funny thing too, because I took, it wasn't this Solo, it was another Solo GT that I was driving around. And I'm just going, well, where do I drive? I just want to put on some miles. So I'm a huge fan of ice cream. So I pull out my phone, I go, oh, there's an ice cream store there. It's about, 22 kilometers away. So I go click, put it in there, and there's a bunch of winding roads. What I didn't realize was it was an outdoor shopping mall. And the roads are turning into alleys and turning into hallways. And I'm driving down hallways.
Wow.
And suddenly I show up inside this outdoor mall and I realize I'm not supposed to be there. So I parked the car, whatever, got my ice cream. And there's people crawling all over the car, get back in. And I left. I get back to the QEV factory the next day. And Juan, who's the CEO, says, hey, some of our guys saw you parked your car in the shopping mall. Well done. So that's what an American can do if they're driving the right sized car in Europe.
So we have a brief video, and I believe this is the QEV Factory, is it not?
Correct.
All right, Jesse, if we can bring that up, I'll start making it live here. And this is, tell us, Jerry,
This is the Solo GT. So this is all the new software, the new Prismatic cells. It, on the outside, the car is as beautiful as can be, but the improvements in technology that have happened. I mean, it's almost a monthly thing with improvements in pricing, in tech, in reliability, and all these sorts of things. It's everything that we dreamt about 10 years ago, even last year we dreamt about, that is coming true, that we can put into these vehicles now and make them as good as possible. What you don't see in that video, just around the corner behind there, QEV also manufactures a vehicle. No, you can't see it. Maybe just a shadow of it. They also manufacture a vehicle called the Hispana Suiza, which is a car that was originally built in the early 1900s. They also made aircraft in World War II. And it's a electric supercar coming in at about $2.5 million. It's an exercise in halo vehicles that a few people, I think they build about 30 a year of these vehicles. So coming from that level of performance vehicle, 2.5, to include that kind of technology into a Solo you can get for $18,000, that's exactly what I love to see.
So all three of us have been driving the Solos, and they get an enormous amount of attention. And for me, it's really
We should race one day.
We've talked about having a little race. Because she owns this whole thing. We can shut down one of them.
As the test driver for Gruber Motor Company, where we specialize in Tesla Roadsters, I'm used to driving unusual cars and getting a lot of attention, right? The Solo actually trumps even the Tesla Roadster out on the road. And I thought maybe you can tell us with your recent experience doing the promotion.
Yes.
Yeah, what is it you're doing?
I've had some great experiences. Basically, there's one car show that I frequent a lot. It's at 67, just south of Bell, and they do it on a Saturday, big shopping area. And a lot of old timers go there. They've been going there for years. But just driving that, I've met several people from Europe. A gentleman from Belgium he travels around all the
Took
states.
his deposit.
I think that's where it came from. Yeah, because he was so impressed by it. And
we should probably do a quick plug here. Any of you interested?
Yes.
We are taking deposits for these new vehicles.
www.solo.car.
And
Ask for Lisa.
And
Yes.
we have the YouTube question from Kana Abdul Muhammad 5625. He says, I'm an electronics student and I've seen your videos about schematics. Which software should I learn to make op-amp and transistor circuit diagrams? I want to build the skills needed for the industry. Now, this is a great question. And the reason is I've gone through your trajectory ever since high school, learning circuits, learning chips later on, the TTL chips that came in the 70s and the 80s. And today, my advice would be use AI.
Exactly. I was going to say, Grok, make a chip that does this.
Yes, exactly.
Boom.
And I'm sure that it creates schematics. And if you want it to be a tutorial, AI will do a great job of educating you as to what it's doing, why it's doing it.
And prompt engineering is really what that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what you're doing is asking the right question of the tool. We can employ a lot of people by giving them all shovels and digging ditches and stuff like that. But if you have a skilled operator, so this question is great. A skilled operator on an excavator can do a really good job and get people into the houses because you've excavated. Same thing with AI. If you have an idea for a chip, make sure you formulate it properly. Make sure that you're experienced with your prompt engineering so that when you ask the question, what comes out is something that's usable, that can be fabricated and employed in the vehicle.
Now, Jiminy is joining us from Facebook. Jiminy, by the way, requires an introduction. He is the godfather here locally of EVs. I first met Jiminy 10, 15 years ago or so at Rolf's house, and he was the only guy there that actually reached in his pocket and pulled out an 18650 lithium-ion cell. That's how devoted he is to this cause. So he has a comment here, and we were talking about the use of prismatic cells in this next generation Solo vehicle. He's saying prismatic cells have not been good in Phoenix heat. They are hard to cool. The Solo has been slow and not very efficient. Can it get 5 or 6 miles per kWh like my Chevy Bolt? Can it get 10 miles per kWh like the new Aptera?
He's got a lot to pack in there.
Does,
So
yes.
my first question, I'm going to take those in reverse, is saying, how were you able to drive a new Aptera? Because that would make you one of one. I haven't talked to anybody who has driven an Aptera, let alone for 5 or 6 miles. Beautiful looking car.
Beautiful. They were
Very
actually
nice.
visiting here in Arizona a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that Jiminy was at the event.
Yeah.
I don't know if he drove it, but he definitely was able to
and to
touch
drive
and
it
feel.
enough so that you can see how many miles per kilowatt hour, which is really what you want.
Right.
The cooling situation in the prismatic cells is whether it's in Phoenix or on Mars, shouldn't be an issue. That's more of a thermodynamics engineering issue. We race cars that are cylindrical cells or prismatic cells. If you have the right cooling and the right radiators, there should be no issue. The Solo, what was that? It's slow. We actually have governors in it to make sure it doesn't go fast. I've had it over 200 kilometers an hour. I don't want that. It's a one-person commuter car. I do not want 0 to 60 in under 1 second.
I can go pretty fast in mine.
I know.
It's
Right?
not
What are you
82,
talking
80,
about?
About 85, the little
85
turtle
is
comes
where we-
on. Yeah.
And
Put
let's
it
not
on.
forget, we only have one wheel providing the propulsion.
Yeah, but I mean,
think of it like that.
whether you have one wheel or four wheels, if you're driving 0 to 60, and I know this, if you go online and you try to find written off Tesla Model 3 performances, they're out there because it looks like a librarian car, but suddenly without any noise or anything, you're up at 100 miles an hour. Now you have to stop, boom, crash. That's what happens. So we're not building race cars, we're building road cars. And 85 is, I think it's illegal in
On
the
the
state of
freeway.
Arizona.
I mean, I don't do it
Anywhere it's illegal, right? So
On the freeways only.
That's fast enough. And so the prismatic cells are good. Like I said, I'll go back to my Fisker Karma. Those are the early A123 prismatic cells. And here we are, 15 years later, the exact same range as originally. They're not degrading. They're not degrading at all. So, you have to look at what's happening. And the technology is always evolving as well, too. Different companies are coming out with different things. CATL and CALB are really leading edge companies in battery technology. And I don't think it ends here. This is the state of the art. I think the technology will continue to improve, including to the point where I see the potential for some radical hybrid batteries where you've got some batteries with high input, high output being a portion of the battery, while the lower cost lithium-ion batteries are the main storage for the car.
I think the EV manufacturers took note of Tesla's early problems with the Tesla Roadster. They didn't really do any thermal testing to the extent that they should have, and the way they found that out was one of the cars went to Dubai, and one of the princes there
Just
actually
as
had
hot
a
as
Tesla
Arizona.
Roadster. Exactly. And they had all kinds of problems, and it was, I can only, if I was a fly on the wall in the engineering room at the time, they would have said, we probably didn't do enough thermal testing.
Yeah.
So.
And I get people from Edmonton going, oh, what's it going to do at -40? Like, you can't make an electric car to go under, -40. And then I have to remind them that Mars has vehicles on it, and Mars is -200. And every vehicle on Mars is an electric vehicle. So rest assured, electric vehicles do work. And if anybody in Edmonton can show me it's colder than -200, I'd be very interested in seeing that. So you can have an electric vehicle in incredibly hot temperatures and incredibly cold temperatures. What doesn't work is a gas car. You get things like vapor lock in very hot environments, and you get the fuel actually turning to jelly, whether it's gas or diesel in certain environments. It just cannot work. Whereas a battery-powered vehicle in those extreme climates, which are like less than 1%, but you still want to operate in those areas, an electric vehicle will work.
Looks like we've got a few more questions to clear, and then I would love to have you continue with your experience driving the Solo. YouTube, Astron BNX says, hello, dear friends. Greetings from Turkey. I hope you remember me. We do, yes. And we always enjoy it when people come in from all over the planet. That's the great part about internet, I try to join your live broadcasts whenever I can. I just wanted to add a little reminder. I work with electric vehicles in Turkey, and I'm also a software engineer, and I'd like to visit you in America someday. And we give tours almost daily at Gruber Motor Company. Would love to have you come visit.
Absolutely.
I was just in Istanbul a while ago. Yeah,
that's right. You were
the
saying.
airport in Istanbul. If you haven't been to the airport in Istanbul, it's spectacular. That's all I'm going to say. I'm sure that Astron knows what I'm talking about, but it's the kind of airport that you would be proud of.
That's awesome.
We have a suggestion here from Car Parking on YouTube. He says, build a car that goes 300 miles per hour.
I'm in. Let's do it.
Let's do it, yes.
And so, the car that goes 300 miles per hour is the Tesla Roadster. And I've had a deposit on that thing for 7-8 years now. The worst thing that could happen is if they gave me my deposit back. I don't want my deposit back. I want the car.
Yeah.
And I'm also thinking, because I race electric cars, that's my jam now. And I just won the GTO championship first in North America with an electric vehicle against all the Corvettes and Porsches, right? So the idea of getting a second Tesla Roadster and racing that, like one for the car, that's a little ostentatious, but it does put a stick in the sand to say, try and beat this, right? 0 to 60 under 1 second. It's just mind-bending. I think it's 1,000-kilometer range is what they're proposing on this, and then the 4680 cells, which are tablets, which should be great for recovering regenerative power.
It sounds like Tesla must have hired some Lucid engineers to get that kind of range.
Maybe they just rebadged it.
Yeah, I don't know. But for those of you waiting, all we know is that it takes Elon a while to actually pull the trigger on some things.
Have you heard his quote? He calls it turning the impossible into the delayed.
Okay, that's a great quote.
I love that.
I like it.
Yeah.
But Q1 is when they say they're going to be releasing something, and we're all anxiously waiting. One of the reasons is the valuation on the first-generation Roadsters is really taking a hit. They're lower than they have been in many years, and we all think that once the second-generation Roadster comes out, that it will pull up the OG Roadster.
These things go up and down. I love old cars. I have a 1959 Bentley as well, too. And you watch these prices go up and down. A friend of mine owns a Ford GT40, an authentic one.
Really?
And Bob Bondurant was a good friend of mine. And I had the car at the Vancouver Indy, and he walked by, and I know Bob. I said, Bob, do you recognize it? It was his car. And he told me that he bought that car when Ford was getting rid of them for $2,500.
Oh, my God.
And he sold it, he said, a year later for $25,000.
And he thought he did real well.
He thought he was Warren Buffett. His quote was, I thought I was Warren Buffett, right? And those things are going for millions of dollars now. So like anything in life, things go up and down, but they will go up. I don't think they're making the original Tesla Roadsters anymore, right? No. Yeah. So by that, they're going up. If you have one, hang on to it. If you're driving it, keep it fresh. If it needs to be refurbished, or if you just want to refurbish it, mechanically or aesthetically or paint or anything like that. There's a bunch. If you don't have one, I know where you can get one.
Yeah. Both. If you want one, it's the Gruber Motors Roadster matchmaking site. We have about 30 or 40 of them for sale out there currently.
And they're
They're
gorgeous.
beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You do it. I see them every morning coming into work.
All right, a few more questions here. Jiminy, of course, confirms that that aptera was here locally in Scottsdale recently. YouTube, I think we've done that one. Instagram, Augustine Villavincenzio says, greetings from Fria City, Santiago el Estero, Argentina. Look at that.
It's about time we road trip to BA.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I'm going to be your partner.
Yeah, Solopalooza in Buenos Aires.
Perfect.
Yeah, let's do that. I wonder what the charging infrastructure is like. It's something I don't think about that often, like in South America, like Brazil and Argentina and Chile. If they have regular J1772s or high-speed charging. I know how Europe works. They've got the CCS2 plugs everywhere. Even the Teslas, the plug on the car is not an NACS. It's a CCS2 on the Teslas, which is very interesting. But what's actually going on in Argentina as far as the charging infrastructure?
That is a good question, yes. What's going on in Argentina?
Thank you, Argentina. That sparked a thought.
Yeah,
Sparked
thank
a
you.
thought.
So tell us some more about your experiences with this little three-wheeler.
Great experiences. Like I said, no matter where I go, I get somebody that's excited. I get questions like, is there a cup holder? Believe it or not, there is a cup holder on the side.
There should be two. There'll be two in the GT.
And that just blows people away because they're just like, what? There's a cup holder space. A lot of people say, well, what do you, once I pop that back open, you guys are amazed of how many you can get quite a bit of groceries in the back
6 bags of
it.
groceries. In Canada, it's about $250 worth.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I'll come out with a pizza, and the other day I had a pizza and I had a couple of bags, and they're like, you fit all that? And I'm like, look how much room there is.
We took Jerry to dinner last night, my wife and I, and she says, as he was leaving, she says, how does he fit in that car? He's over 6 feet. I said, you would be amazed how much space is in that car. What was it? Your design criteria for the Solo was matching the amount of space in a Corvette, right?
Yeah, well, that's the very interesting. Every car has this really cool backstory. So the guys that helped engineer the Corvette also worked on the C5 Corvette. So we just have the CAD of the seating position of the C5 Corvette, and we built the Solo around that. So when you get into the Solo, you go, this feels sporty. It's a C5 Corvette, and there's actually more room inside of it because we've extended the roof line up and everything like that. So when somebody asks, having not sat in the car, would I fit into the Solo? I said, well, you can go to any Corvette dealership and sit in a Corvette, and if you don't fit in that, you probably won't fit in a Solo. So two things, they can check to see if they fit. And second thing is, nobody wants to say they don't fit in a Corvette. That's not a cool.
I use that quite a bit because when I say, oh, really? And then I always took, because, I knew your height, and I'm like, the CEO of this designer sits in, and they don't realize once you get back, you put your head back, there's a lot of room.
I can drive it with a helmet on, so there's actually that kind of space within the vehicle as well too. So, and once you drive it, and I meet all the owners that are still out there in Europe, in North America, and all that, and they're regular people who are driving it. That's what the Solo was made for, was for everybody. Oh, I remember one lady was actually too short. We had to put spacers in the seat so she could see over the dashboard, which in a Corvette you'd go, okay, that makes sense. But in the Solo you'd go, how is that possible? It's the same thing. So spacers, and then it was...
But I'm chuckling because he left a pillow because he was testing it for me. And I actually sit on the pillow because I'm only 5'2". So I tend to be a little short, but that little bit... It really boosts me up.
Makes a difference, yeah.
And then I was also going to say, taking off on it. I don't think people understand how the car shifts up when you first take off on it. You feel like you're in a race car. It drives like, I feel like I'm in a race car. I never have a dull moment in that car. I love driving it. It's fast, it's zippy, cut through. I think it's a great car. I love it.
Yeah, it gets really intuitive once you've been driving for a while, and you realize the width of it is not the same width as a normal car. you start to come around corners and you see there's cars here, there's a curb there, and you know you can fit.
I know.
You go down
and then
the
go
side.
to another car, and you're like, I don't know how to drive this big car anymore.
You pass 15 cars to the traffic light, you turn right, and where you would have been in a normal car is about 5 minutes behind you.
Even taking off, I mean, you can, and stopping is a lot different. I don't know if it's just because it's an electrical, obviously it is, but I find that the whole maneuvering of it, like you said, turning, spacing, and then the camera. People don't realize that there is a camera for your backup. So that's great.
Backup cameras are
cameras.
really required now, and it helps you with that. But it's one of those experiences where once you get used to it and then you get back into a regular car, it does feel a little bit like you're driving a motorhome.
It is very difficult. I had to take my car the other day, and it felt clunky. Stopping, I found myself hitting the brake a lot more, and then just being so wide in my car, and it's just a Camry.
Yeah.
But I noticed the difference. So just in talking with people, I think space was one of the things that a lot of people ask about. How convenient is it to charge 110, 120 normal electric outlet? I tell them about that. They get real excited that they don't have anything special, because that's always another question that they have is going to cost me a lot? And I tell them, if you got a little outlet on your garage, it's not bad at all.
$20 a month is what I was paying, between $15 and $20 a month on a 220 clothes dryer plug is what we're using. We don't have the high-speed DC-DC charging in the Solos yet because it's really not required. When it's completely empty, it's about 3.5 hours on a 40 amp circuit to recharge. So most people come home, you plug it in. Every time you leave home, it's 100% full. And that's really the convenience of it and the cost effectiveness of an 18,000. You can buy motorcycles for twice that price, and they don't come with air conditioning and heated seats and everything like that, like the Solo does. So as far as a practical, usable, fun, and stylish vehicle for 18,000, it's very hard to beat.
And the AC works great. I mean, you get hot, you put that, I mean, it takes 2 seconds to get cold.
And you're from Phoenix.
I'm
My
from
goodness.
Phoenix. And
If somebody in Canada said that, I'd go, yeah, but
I mean, you take that for granted when you're cooling or heating these big SUVs. It takes a lot of energy, and I gotta turn it down.
Cabin,
Small cabin, and the radio. We didn't forget to tell them that there is a very nice stereo that's very stylish, up to date.
There's a picture of one of the Solo owners, and I think you were the one that posted it. And it said it's easy to fit $250 worth of groceries in a Solo in the trunk of a Solo. Of course, food is a little bit more expensive nowadays, and I think that was part of the pun.
I'd have to go to 350 now too.
Yeah.
But back to the radio. The radio is good, but it's been a bit of a pebble in my shoe as well too, because I think we could have done a lot better with the infotainment unit. And the Solo GT will have an outstanding infotainment unit
Nice.
in it as well too. So at this time in January, February, when you get the first Solo GTs and you're driving around going, touch screen?
Oh, I'm gonna really love it.
Yeah, there have been some lovely niceties that have been put in. It's all in Spanish. I'm just kidding.
We should all know Spanish though too.
We should.
So Jerry, tell us about the rollout strategy for the GT.
So the rollout strategy is a global one. We have a fan base in Canada, a fan base in Arizona and California, all of the United States as well too, and manufacturing them in Europe, in Spain now. It's almost too much enthusiasm saying, oh, we want everything here. So trying to make sure that we have the people who've already put in orders taken care of, as well as having cars driving around in downtown London, downtown Dusseldorf. I mean, you've been through Germany. You drive this thing down. Germans are car people. When they see a Solo like this, it'll be, what is that? I mean, they're famous for Messerschmitts and Izettas and things like that. And this is like the most modern take you could have on that. So it's a global way. We'll have somewhere between 100 and 200 on the road this year, and then 1,500 to 5,000 in 2027. So we have all the capacity to do that, but rolling them out into the areas like Arizona and California, which are our key markets first, the people that we have them there, and then taking care of the people who put in their first orders.
And I have a picture of a very brightly colored Solo. I'm going to bring that up here. And there's an interesting story behind this one.
Yeah, that's a shout out to Wayne Ritchie as well too. So I just visited with him in Los Angeles. Great guy. Sean Mahoney and I went and had a nice meeting with him. So he had that. That's his, I think, second or third wrap job, and it is outstanding. The color on it, it's a huge eye catcher in Los Angeles. And Wayne has been building custom cars. I think he said since he was 17 or whatever, and he pulled out some magazines with Volkswagen Beetles that he'd done. The attention to detail was breathtaking in all these. So that's what he's working on with these. So that's the Gen 3 Solo that he has there. And the other person, I don't think you have a photo of this, Andrew Phillips.
I don't have.
Oh, you don't have that one too,
we'll
but
describe it.
he's wrapped his like a DeLorean. And I'm not saying it looks like a DeLorean. You can feel the surface of it. It feels like brushed stainless steel on it. So he brought it over to the hotel in Las Vegas, and it's a head turner, absolutely for sure. So I've always felt and heard from people that Solo will be personalized, much like somebody will have an iPhone, put Hello Kitty stickers on it or whatever. Make it your own because it's a very personal device. And I'm always excited when people take their own initiative to make their cars look different inside and out.
Mm-hmm. Like the Tesla Roadster, they're all bright colors. It's a Lotus, holdover, but these types of unusual cars do require a little bit more color and attention.
I saw a British Racing green one in there that caught my eye too. That's not a bright color, but it's definitely a sexy color.
We're sticking with the 4 colors still, right? The white, red, black, and silver.
Yeah, and that's what we've always done. But wrapping on such a small car is like $1,000 issue, and you can change it every couple of years as you go forward if you like.
That's awesome.
A few more questions coming in from YouTube. Astron BNX says, in the meantime, I wish success to friends in Barcelona.
Gracias.
And also says, yeah, we have a very big airport. By the way, my name is Reha. Well, thank you, Reha.
Thank you.
Oh, that's in Istanbul.
Istanbul, okay. And then Instagram, Augustine, again, Villavicenzio says, here EV charging stations were installed in Buenos Aires city. Again, Argentina was the question earlier. I haven't heard from any other city. I think there are other cities with similar facilities, but I don't know which cities.
We need to send a couple of Solos down to Buenos Aires. So if there's some sort of a contact down there, Lisa, if you have the spare time, you can go down there with the cars.
I would love
set them
to.
up for a month or two.
I'll take them down, no problem.
Sure. And then see, are they J1772s? Are they DC-DC chargers? Like, what's the adapter that's required down there? But yeah, South America is a huge continent, very rich in car culture as well too. Who here knows Juan Manuel Fangio? Nobody?
No.
Arguably the world's greatest driver. So the people in Argentina, you know that I know, right? So a very big car culture. And now having vehicles like Teslas and Solos available for people down there as well too. I'm sure it'll be interesting as they transition away from combustion into electrics.
Absolutely.
One final question is, it seems like the world is transitioning to full self-driving, which I'm totally in favor of, considering the lack of driving skills and deteriorating driving skills out there on the roads.
You talking to me?
Sure, you drive race cars, you're fine. So wouldn't it be cool to have a single occupant vehicle that was full self-driving? I mean, why do you need a driver? Why do you need extra seats? With the percentages of people on the road that are driving solo anyway. Any thoughts or plans about licensing or partnering to make the three-wheeler solos full self-driving?
I think this is too early to make that announcement, Pete. But yeah, there is something in the works for that. And I know people like myself who have full self-drive in their Teslas will be able to relate to this. You're in the car all by yourself. You want to go home from wherever you are. You tap the home button, which you should try, and the car will take you there. You're sitting all by yourself in a 5-person car, and it's taking you home. you're paying attention still because you have to, but there will be a time in the next 2 or 3 years where you really don't have to. You can pull out your phone and check your messages and that while you're going along. But that's really where this is all going, and we are working on that. We're further along than you would guess for both driving autonomously when you're in the car and also having the car drive itself. So you're going somewhere and you can send the car off to park or send it home by itself or send it over to pick somebody up or send it off to pick up your groceries for you, that sort of a thing. So that is definitely in the works. And like this whole electric vehicle thing, it's going to happen a lot quicker than people expect.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank you, Jerry, for joining us, and Lisa for joining us as well.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you for having me, both guys.
For those of you that were joining us, it looks like we've got a few more comments. We'll go through those. Astron BNX from YouTube says, Turkey has a rapidly growing market. Last year, there were 24,000 charging sockets, but this year, there are 33,000. Electric cars account for 30% of all vehicles sold. Therefore, I believe this is a promising market for companies producing new electric vehicles.
That has to benefit the air in all of Turkey and that whole area.
And then from Instagram, NTOK97 says, I suggest you open a branch here in Kuwait, people. Ship them to Tesla dealers in the United Arab Emirates.
That's what I would love to do. I'm working with a group of people, ex-Mahindra, ex-Formula One people, with a new junior electric racing series called for FG Series, right? So it's for people who want to race in the upper level Formula E, and they're getting out of karts or whatever to do that. And we just opened up our headquarters in Doha, Qatar. So we'll be heading over there soon as these cars get unveiled. It's an exciting time, and it's lovely to see the Middle East embracing electric vehicles the way that they are.
That's awesome.
Well,
Pete,
guys, yes.
Real quick, I have one thing for Jerry. I'm going to pull up an image for you. Thought this was kind of cool because you were talking about Corvette.
Never know.
Are we ready for this? I'm not.
Hold on, wait, let me get the right laptop screen up here. 1 second.
Is this my sister?
So this is because you were talking about Corvettes earlier.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm wondering if your manufacturing would keep an open mind and potentially make a custom Solo for someone like Shaquille O'Neal. They made him a custom Corvette and they stretched it 20 inches so that he could fit in there.
Wow. Only 20 inches?
Only
I think
20
even
inches.
the foot box would have to be different. I have met Shaquille O'Neal on a few occasions. He's one of the most vibrant, delightful people I've ever met. I was courtside at a Vancouver Grizzlies game, if you can remember the Grizzlies, and they had sunglasses night. So I was right behind him wearing these glasses, and he's sitting like 5 or 6 feet in front of me, and he reaches over and goes, give me your glasses, right? So, and he checked them out. He goes, that's pretty good. He gave it back to me, right? He's a huge guy. And I'm sure he'd be thrilled at the Solo if we made something like that. But I got to think for a person of his stature, he's outside of what we in the automobile industry consider the 95th percentile, which is what all cars are made to, which is why you have to extend a Corvette, 20 inches.
My gosh.
Challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted.
Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you.
Again, we want to thank everybody for joining us and our special guests. We will do these podcasts again soon, but not this week and not next week. So, but we will have some impromptu ones as we get special guests like Jerry and Lisa.
Awesome.
Thanks, Lisa. Thanks, Pete. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there.
Thank you all.